Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Afterburner. I'm Bill Whittle. Well, as I record this, it's the week of Barack Obama's second inaugural. And for those of us who loved America before this cynical, petty, lazy man came to office to fundamentally change it, well, it's a pretty bleak time indeed. You know, we look out over a landscape being stripped of all the qualities that once made her great, bold visions of a technological future where we irrigated entire deserts with nuclear-powered pumping and desalination plants. Not only do we not have any new power plants, but the dams and levees that irrigated what we once had are being destroyed by these so-called progressives in order to protect a sardine, turning more and more of Central California from the Horn of Plenty into an actual dust bowl. We once dreamed of colonizing the moon and Mars and taking the innate American genius for innovation, engineering, competence, and guts as far as we can imagine. Now, in Obama's America, we have to hitch a ride to our own useless space station, and NASA's stated goal is to teach Muslims about how amazing they are in science and technology. Our public education system was once the envy of the world. Entire generations of kids who had the highest test scores, the greatest motivation, and the most abundant imagination and vision on the face of the globe. Now, through the Democrats' prime constituency, the teachers' unions, awful teachers rigidly enforce political and social engineering goals that are utterly immune to merit, competition, competence, or even criminal behavior. And worst of all, the root source of all of this, all the prosperity, all the security, all the opportunity, the work ethic is being systematically bred and brainwashed out of our people more and more each day. Getting on the government dole becomes not a last-ditch move of deep desperation, but rather the smart play. I've read a breakdown that showed that you'd have to make something in excess of $50,000 a year to live better after taxes than you would if you relied solely on government benefits. And we could go on like this for hours. And now, the avatar of these philosophies will raise his hand a second time. And unencumbered, presumably, by the need to be re-elected, he will not only continue these policies of destruction, he's sworn to accelerate them. And all we can see out there is this beautiful garden dying before our eyes. And it's enough to make you want to give up, which of course is exactly what they want. But don't. Don't give up your optimism. Don't give up your ambition. Don't give up your curiosity, your drive, your work ethic, or your faith, because underneath all of this devastation lie reservoirs that have not been touched by these agents of despair and destruction. These reservoirs lie silent, and they are very, very deep and very, very wide. And we must not forget that they're there, or we will lose all hope, and when that happens, it is well and truly over. Now, for example, there may in fact be more energy available to America today than there was when the first drill bits touched oil in Pennsylvania and Texas at the beginning of the industrial age. American engineering genius has opened up unbelievable reservoirs of oil, coal, and especially natural gas. And new nuclear technologies like clean and safe thorium reactors means that we have and continue to have vast, nearly unimaginable reservoirs of clean, cheap energy. They'll be there long after this man is gone. Private space companies like SpaceX, Scaled Composites, Bigelow, X-Corp, and many others continue to innovate and do for a penny on the dollar the things that NASA once did, and they do them better. The innovation, ambition, and work ethic, and companies like these and tens of thousands of others in all sectors remain the driving force of new technologies all across the entire globe. That ethic is still there, and it is very deep, if perhaps not as wide as it used to be. And the great, unspoken, untapped reservoir of an age of undereducated, undermotivated students is one I've never heard really referred to. But the more I think about it, the more I realize that it is our single greatest untapped natural reservoir. And that's our population of retired men and women. You know, there's a wealth of information, skill, experience, motivation, and love of country out there under the surface, the length and breadth and depth of which we simply can't comprehend. To have so many children being robbed by their progressive education on one hand, and to have so many magnificent, experienced, hardworking people on the other, people who feel lost and lonely and useless and abandoned. Well, to not combine these two is a crime of historic magnitude, and we just can't let that happen. And of course, needless to say, there is the limitless, inexhaustible, bottomless reservoir of courage, determination, and love of freedom that lies in the heart of each and every member of our magnificent military. So look deep. It's there. Keep your eyes not only on what you can see, but also on what you know lies beneath the surface out of sight. Because when that man raises his hand for a second time, we will be precisely halfway through this nightmare here above the ground.